Egotistical. He's a noob. I'm a what? Egotistical. He's not pro. Yeah, I am. Egotistical. Gets a mobile. No, actually. Egotistical. Just play the game. Okay, sorry. And here we are. Back for another commentary with me. Egotistical. I've got no drugs though this time. You know what my drug is tonight? Tea. Because I'm broke. Like his face. So I'm not stoned and I'm not drunk. I'm just sick. That's why I sound a bit different this time. We have the hottest weather in years in Ireland this week. And I catch a cold. Now who the fuck says the look of the Irish, eh? So I started my new job 3 weeks ago now. And my first day there, my task was to build my workstation. I had to build my computer, had to set it all up for myself, install everything, you know the story. But after everything was built, I made my first fuck up. Yes, on my first day, my first fuck up. I was wondering, why isn't my computer turning on? It's plugged in, all wires are connected. So after 15 minutes of scratching me balls, I realised I didn't turn the power switch on. So there you have it. A qualified Irish IT technician. Couldn't figure out to turn the switch on. So, free for all. What a fucking shit game mode. I really do hate free for all. But I play it anyway. Why? I don't know. You tell me. So I thought I'd tell you a little story about a journey I had on my way home from work there. I think it was last week. I can't really remember. But I was sitting on the bus, and at the back of the Irish buses, there's seats that face each other. Like, they're the only seats on the bus that face backwards. And I was stuck on one of these because this bus was packed. Like, it was the only seat I had, and I don't like sitting backwards. It makes me feel sick. But sitting there, and facing me was a woman. And sitting next to her was a man. I know, shock. But anyway, this man kept on punching himself in the head. I know. I can imagine your reaction right now. He was punching himself in the head. And all the time that this man was doing this, the woman sitting right in front of me was falling asleep, but jerking awake every few seconds. And she was a paranoid mess. Every time she'd jerk awake, she'd grab her bag and have the most frightened look on her face I've ever seen. And I have a baby who's scared of the gumbo. I don't know what the gumbo is, but that's for a different day. Now, I've seen some scared faces, but this just took the piss. And she kept on looking at me like I was doing something wrong. Like, yeah, if I was going to be a mugger, I'd do it when no one was looking. I wouldn't do it on a bus. So while this woman is silently accusing me of conspiring to steal her bag, your man in the corner is still punching himself in the head. Now, I'm not talking about punch. I'm talking every now and then, a smack. And it takes you by surprise. I'm sitting there, I've been on the bus half an hour at this stage, and it still gave me a little surprise when I just seen him go smack. And I could see that he was saying something. Now, he had his earphones in, I had my earphones in. So I thought he was talking on the phone, you know, hands-free and all that. So I paused my music so I could hear what he was talking about. I was thinking, what's upsetting him so much that he's punching his head? And you know what I noticed? He wasn't talking to anyone. He was just saying, fuck, cunt. This man had Tourette's, and I'm sitting there laughing. Now, obviously, I was laughing on the inside, because it would be rude to laugh at his face. And if I had laughed at his face, maybe it would have been my head that he started punching. It's not the first time either that I've met someone with Tourette's on the bus. There's been 3 or 4 times. And I remember one time as well, there was another fella. Now, this was months ago. But he was just sitting there, shaking. and it always takes me a while to cop on if someone has Tourette's or not. Again, I just thought he was on drugs. But this fella, he was sitting up the front of the bus, and he kept on jerking his head back, like real violently. And at one point, he threw his head back so hard that his head cracked off the window. Now I'm sorry, but I did laugh. I LOL'd the hell out of that bus. And thank God I was up the back, and there was a group of school kids in front of me, so they got the blame. Sorry, that's the sickness kicking in again. It knows if I get too happy it makes me cough. So since I've started working in the city centre, I see nut jobs all the time. All the time. So I have a few stories to tell yous, but I'm gonna save them. I'll save them for a next video, if I ever get a good video again. And I shall let you join in on my experiences in town. Okay, and a little topic here. Should I get a PVR? Now, I do enjoy recording commentaries, I really do, but my only problem is I can only do them if somebody records a game for me. And I'd love to do some Battlefield commentaries, but it hasn't got theatre mode. I'd have to be recording it there and then, and I do not want to go back to using my camera, because that was a pain in the arse, and everybody hated. Like, I had random people on YouTube telling me to stop recording on a toaster. I didn't think you could do it. But alas, we come near the end of the video. So, I'm going to recap on what we talked about tonight. I'm sick. People punch their own heads. Paranoid women like to accuse me of planning and stealing their bags. And a fella cracked his head off a window. So please tell me if you enjoyed this commentary more than my last one, or if you like the under the influence commentaries. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get your advice on that, because I did enjoy doing this one. I'm not gonna say I worked hard, because I've only been working on a half an hour. But I promise you this, I have a few good stories that I do want to share, because the only person that I tell my stories to is my fiancée. But she don't get me hits on YouTube, does she? Nope. So I'll leave it there, kiddies. And I think I'm gonna go get another cup of tea. Thanks for watching.